Hello to my lovely and faithful students. Thank you for joining me for another episode. If you have been staying tuned in, you would know that this episode is a follow-up to the last one. So we looked at this topic last time, calculating missing angles in a quadrilateral. And I gave you some questions for homework, and I promised that I would reveal the answers for those. So here we go. And if you weren't here last time, you can just take a look at them now. Feel free to pause the video and work any question that you would like, and then we'll go ahead and reveal the answers. So this is the first one. Again, if you weren't here last time, so you weren't able to try them, those questions I gave at the end of the video, you can pause right now and try this. So the angles in a quadrilateral are 80 degrees, 132 degrees, 70 degrees, and P. What is the value of P? And as I would have said in a previous episode, that you can go ahead and draw a quadrilateral for yourself if you want, right? So sketching helps some persons, so you can go ahead and do that. All right, so these are the four angles, and we know once we add those four angles, some persons love to put the variable at the front, so that's why I'm doing that. All right, the sum of all of these would give us 360 degrees because the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So we have P plus, when we add 80, 132, and 70, we get 282, and that's degrees, equals 360 degrees. Subtracting 282 from both sides, we now get P equals 78 degrees. And it's that easy. All right, we'll move to the second question. In case you're making any corrections, you can always pause. All right, number 2 says the sizes of the angles in a quadrilateral are 4x, 3x plus 10 degrees, 7x plus 10 degrees, and 10x minus 20 degrees. And we should, 1, find the value of x, and 2, A and B, determine the size of each angle. And I'll say this again, even if you were not told to find x in the first place, go ahead and find it because it will help you to find the other angles anyway. All right, so here we go. You can sketch a quadrilateral if you want and just put in the angles 4x, 3x plus 10, 7x plus 10, 10x minus 20. All right, so here we go. Let's get down to business. Part A, we have 4x plus 3x plus 10 plus 7x plus 10 degrees plus 10x minus 20 degrees, and all of that is equal to 360 degrees. Putting all our like terms together, 4x plus 3x plus 7x plus 10x, you can write that in a separate line. So I'm going to just go ahead and write it. And we also put 10 degrees plus 10 degrees minus 20 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. All right, when we add 4x, 3x, 7x, and 10x, we will get 24x. And then we have 10 degrees plus 10 degrees minus 20. That will indeed give us 0. So we have 24x equals 360 degrees. Dividing both sides by 24x, by 24, dividing both sides by 24, we now have x to be equal to 15 degrees. Are we done? No. We are asked to find the size of each angle. So here we go with part B. I'm going to have that done in red. All right, so we have 4x. That's going to be 4 times x, which is 4 times 15 degrees. That gives us 60 degrees. And then we have 3x plus 10. 3 times 15 degrees. Let me just write that below so I have some space on the other side. 3 times 15 degrees plus 10. 3 times 15 will give us 45 degrees plus 10 degrees, that is 55 degrees. And then we have 7x plus 10, which is 7 times 15 degrees plus 10 degrees. 7 times 15 degrees will give us 105. Okay, I can go ahead and write that out. Total will be 115 degrees. And our final angle, 10x minus 20 degrees. That's going to be 10 times 15 degrees minus 20 degrees. 10 times 15, that's 150, minus 20, that's 130 degrees. And remember, you can always check your work. So you can, if you're not sure of your angles, go ahead and say 60 degrees plus 55 plus 115 plus 130. And if that does not give you 360 degrees, then you may want to check your answers. All right, that's it for number 2. Final question. It says one of the angles in a parallelogram is 78 degrees. What is the size of the other 3 angles? All right, let me just fix that up a bit. Extend this one. So one of the angles is 78 degrees. I'm just going to name the angles just for reference. All right, this is a parallelogram. So what do we know? One, we know that the sides are equal and parallel. And we also know that opposite angles are equal. So you may have been wondering, how come you only get one angle and you're asked to find the other 3? That's because you're expected to know that if this is 78 degrees, then B is also 78 degrees. All right, since the other 2 angles are equal, we did say we can call them the same letter. So let's call this A and A. And you write down your equation. Let's go. A plus 78 degrees plus 78 degrees. That gives us 360 degrees because we are looking at a quadrilateral. Then we have 2A plus 156 degrees. Subtracting 156 from both sides, what will we get? 2A is equal to 204 degrees. Dividing both sides by 2, we have A is equal to 102 degrees. So it means that each of these angles measure 102 degrees. Again, you can always check your work. You can always add the angles to see if they correspond, if they add up to 360 degrees. And I will see you next time.